Start by taking a piece of gum paste and place it in a separate container to keep it separate from the rest. To make the center and the stamen, take a piece of gum paste and roll it into a 1/4 inch log. Flatten one end of the log and make an indent on the other end. Dip around 1.5 inch of 26 gauge florist wire in edible glue and position it in the crevice. Pinch around wire. For a stamen, roll a tiny ball of gum paste, indent with knife tool and attach to flattened end of flower center with gum glue adhesive. Let it dry for a couple of hours. To make throat, take another piece of gum paste and a cornstarch dusted board. Roll out the gum paste to 1/16 inch thick on the board. Cut using orchid throat cutter. Place the throat on the leaf impression side of the board. Press with thin pink foam and imprint veins. Position throat vein side up on purple pad. Ruffle edges on top half with the large end of a ball tool. Curl the sides as I'm doing here. Brush inside center and size of throat and position center inside. Wrap curl size of throat around center as shown. Press lightly to attach. Carefully using your fingers, curl up scalloped edges outward to open. Place throat on a flower former to dry. To make and cut the petals, we are going to use gum paste and a board dusted with cornstarch, ridge side up. Center the petal cutter over the ridge and cut 5 petals, 2 wide and 3 narrow. After you cut the petals, use the edible glue to attach the wire to the back of the petal. Fold the ridge over the wire. Now, using the impression side of the board and the pink pad, make vein impressions on the petal. Transfer petals to the purple pad and soften edges. Place petal on flower former. 1 narrow petal will be placed on the concave side of the flower former. The rest will be placed on the convex side. Let them dry. Now that all of my petals and throat are completely dry, I will color them. I have here color dust and luster dust. I will be applying the color dry. You may use a couple of drops of vodka, but I personally like to use the dust alone. For the throat, I'm using a light green and a light yellow. Since I want my orchids to be white, I am only going to dust the edges of the petals only, lightly applying the dust over the edges. Then I will apply light gray luster. Then I will also be using my steamer. If you don't have a steamer, you can steam your petals over a boiling pot of water to make the petals shiny and soft. Before I forget to mention, the color for the edges of the petal is a burgundy color. Also, when you use brushes for your petals or roses or flowers, you need to use a soft brush. I'm using here all my brushes that are very soft. And now I'm using my steamer to steam my petals. I want you to take a look at how shiny the petals look after I steam them. Like I said, you may also acquire the same results if you use a pot boiling with water and just run the petal over the steam. They will look soft and shiny. Now it's time to wrap all the wires. Wrap all the wires separately with florist tape. When you first start wrapping the wire, you need to first stretch the tape to activate the glue. Notice how when I first start to wrap the wire, I kind of fold the tape onto itself. Then as I move downward, I wrap diagonally. That way the tape does not bulge and the stem looks natural. And now to complete the throat, I'm using an extra fine tip foot rider marker to add lines to the middle scallop and dots to side scallops. And the throat is complete. I like to pause here to show you how to assemble all the petals and throat of the orchid. Looking at your screen as a clock from left to right, you will place a narrow petal at 10 o'clock, a wide petal at 11 o'clock, then the concave petal at 12 o'clock, right in the middle, then a wide petal at 1 o'clock and a narrow petal at 2 o'clock. Then in the middle, right under the middle petal, you will place the throat. You need to bend it forward a little, and that's it. So now you more or less have an idea how you are going to wrap all of them together. Remember, you need to wrap them all together, but first you need to place them the way I showed you, so that way the orchid can look natural. So here I'm showing you some leaves and flower buds that I'm going to use with my orchids. This is optional, but I think the orchids will look good accompanied by these leaves and buds. I will put the link in the information section on how to make flower buds. These orchids or any flowers that have been wrapped with florist tape cannot make contact with your cake. Please be aware that it will contaminate your cake as florist tape is not edible. You may use a flower spike, a white straw with plastic film at the bottom, or you may wrap the stems with plastic wrap before inserting the flowers or the orchids into your cake. Again, please avoid any contamination into your cake. Make sure that you do not insert any flowers into your cake that have been wrapped with florist tape before you wrap them in plastic or use plastic spikes. Well, and here is my cake. I have displayed all the orchids that I made and the flower buds and the leaves on this styrofoam cake or camouflage cake. This is not a real cake, but these orchids, when they are placed on your cake, they will look fantastic. So I hope that you enjoyed today's tutorial. Please share and like. I'll see you next time in Yolanda's Cakes. Until then, stay safe and God bless you.